that baggage. If I had known that that's stuff you really need to go through, right? You can't just leave it behind. It doesn't stay. It sticks to you.
Oh.
And so the only way is to work through it. And that would have been gold for me to know.
You're listening to the Better Relationships After Baby podcast, where we believe your relationship can be better than ever after having a baby. But it does take tools, insights, and support to help you get there. I'm Chelsea. Join me and my husband, Mike, as we have honest conversations, provide valuable tips you can apply today, and root for you to have your best relationship ever. It's not only good for you and your family, it's good for the whole world around us. Now let's get into today's episode. Welcome back.
Welcome. What do we do today?
We had the opportunity to be part of a launch of a business that is centered around love, similarly to ours.
Love and connection.
Love and real connection, humanity, knowing yourself so that you can show up and be a good partner, community member, friend, all of those things. So
yeah, good space.
Yeah, we got to be around some singles too, a lot of singles really, because it is a matchmaking business called In Good Company. And it was really fun to be in that group of people and think about dating and the things you do or don't learn about each other and the things that maybe you think are really important in the early days, and reflecting on things that maybe we wish we would have had in our toolbox before we got married and started a family together and
did all those things.
We
learned a lot, but it would have been great to learn it earlier.
Yeah.
It would have saved a lot of
suffering. Yeah. In 13 years, there have been a lot of things. And I think we get to be really proud of how much we've overcome and learned. And a huge reason why we are building and growing this business together is because we want to help people not have so many growing pains.
Yeah.
And enjoy more of the smoother, good kind of soul level connection with someone else.
And it's always better to learn from other people's mistakes. I would have preferred to have done that. And it's not a mistake, but it is I think it would be like a lack of knowing what you're getting into. And there is some prep, that can be done.
Yeah. It's fair to say, we had a pretty quick timeline. I'm actually staring at the babies, it seems like, in our wedding picture right now. We look like such babies. But our 1 month anniversary, when we had been married for 1 month, that was also the same as a year that we had even known each other. So we knew each other for 11 months before we got married.
Right. Yeah. We wanted to keep it under a year.
A lot of that's purity culture, the I don't know. And I really liked you. It seems like a no-brainer.
Yeah, I think that, I'm not trying to cut you off. I just get excited about this. So if you have more to say.
No, I'm watching you.
So there was a deep connection with things I hold a lot of value for.
Yeah.
And at the time, I wasn't looking, and you weren't either.
Right.
And so it was very easy to be vulnerable with each other. And so we were really open, and then it just felt right,
Yeah. We learned so much about each other on a pretty deep level. There were definitely some practical tools we missed.
Yeah, right. So we had that deep connection, but like the up here day-to-day stuff, no way.
No, and the thing is, so much of that worked before we had kids. It worked fine.
Right.
The way you needed to recharge after work versus me, you know, meals and ideas and plans and alone time.
Yeah.
Not that we didn't have any rifts, but I think the things that really came out after we had kids.
100%.
And there were just things we had not practiced, developed, understood about ourselves, let alone about each other.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think any pressure situation kind of brings stuff to the surface usually. And it was all there, you know, the stuff that, and from my perspective, and I don't know if there's any statistics on this, but I do wonder how many men that this is true for. There's this baggage that I thought I would leave behind when I started this new chapter of my life, only to find out I had just buried it or whatever. Still somewhere in my body it lived, right? And so when all the pressure hit us to raise kids and figure out our own lives and grow up and do all the things, it just all came back and it came to the surface. And that was a shit show.
Yeah. It was. And I think there are people who do that work better before starting a family, probably than we did. Maybe it's the toolbox they were given growing up or from different situations they've been in. But there were some things, like, had we known them or learned them earlier, we would have saved some heartache and pain.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of things. Like, we created a 6-week process to just take people through these things because there are a number of areas. I mean, there is emotional disconnection. There was the mental load that kept coming up, intimacy, the communication, and just like who we were.
Yeah, your identity changes.
The whole identity change.
And I don't, like, you know, you're going to love your kids and you think you're going to add them to your world. I think that's how I felt.
Well, yeah, and we even had couples say that to us recently at Babies and Bumps.
Yeah. Yeah, but you don't just add them to your world. It literally, I don't know, it's kind of like you get new hardware, but then it has to update all the software in your computer before it will run. And it's like, holy shit.
A little janky because everything's running at once and nothing is loading properly.
Right, absolutely. Yeah, oh my God, it's all, you're waking up in the middle of the night, your brain isn't even working. You say something to each other and, you know, it's just easy to just fade into some arguments, tension, or worse, you know.
Yeah. And again, I from our experience, I don't think that that's everyone. I think some people really they really check the boxes on having that foundation. But most of the time, from what we see in data and from conversations we have, there's a lot more we could be doing earlier.
Yeah.
And I guess that's our like crusade to keep talking about these things and spread the awareness. But could we pick one thing each?
Oh yeah, that sounds great.
Okay. So like
story time.
Yes. If there is something that you wish we would have learned sooner and it would have made an impact in multiple areas of our relationship.
Oh yeah, that baggage. If I had known that that's stuff you really need to go through, right? You can't just leave it behind. It doesn't stay. It sticks to you.
Oh.
And so the only way is to work through it. And that would have been gold for me to know. 'Cause my hope in just starting fresh, I guess, didn't work. It just didn't work. So Um, there are pretty high numbers for folks that have PTSD, and um, there's a lot of stuff out there.
Yeah.
It really is. And there's nothing to be ashamed about. And it's absolutely everything to seek out a therapist for and really work through that stuff. And you come back to yourself in ways you never thought you could.
Yeah.
And then you can bring your whole self or a more full self to your partner into that relationship. But man, that baggage is a killer. Yeah. So I would say, if that's something that you feel like you have, we don't do therapy, but there is definitely a lot of body-based practices and exercises I did that anybody can do, to work through some of that. But that doesn't replace a therapist either, right? Like find yourself someone.
Sometimes we actually find that when we get to work with couples who are both working with their own therapist, that's like an incredible situation because people are working on themselves in their individual spaces. And then we're helping them literally put that together and know how to work with that in the relationship space.
Yeah. Yeah.
Super cool.
Yeah. It becomes its own entity, the relationship, just like it's the them bubble.
The them. Yeah. Yeah. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah. How about you? What do you have? What would you like to have known?
Yeah. I think so much of mine goes to communication. And
yeah, I could see that. Like we've miscommunicated a lot throughout our history.
Yeah. But the evolution of that has been miscommunication, misunderstanding, shut down, resentment, anger, pull something else in, talk about, well, why didn't you this? And then we talk about that thing from 3 years ago. And then it's like, why are we even talking about this? Because you're a dummy,
Let's stay mad about this.
Yeah.
Forever.
It went from that to like, hey, I had some really big feelings about what you said. Okay. Could you try it again so that I'm making sure I understand what you were saying?
Yeah, I sure will. It is easy to solve a lot of that by being curious in the beginning.
Yeah.
Like if you feel something that is, like really makes your skin crawl. Wait, that's more of a scared thing. Something that maybe ticks you off.
Your blood boil.
Yeah, that's it.
That's the body-based metaphor you were looking for.
That's it. Get curious, right? It's easy to make a judgment and say, oh, she's saying this or he's saying that. Or the story, you tell yourself a story sometimes about what it means and get curious. Hey, I'm not sure I understood that. To me, that sounded maybe a different way than you meant it. Can you clarify what you were intending to say?
Before I react with the emotion I'm feeling right now, could you just say that another way so I make sure?
Right. And
if I'm pissed off, it's for the right reason.
Yeah, 100%.
Most of the times it's not.
Yeah, it's not. But hey, if you are listening and you're thinking to yourself, there's no way I could hold my emotions at bay in that moment. Right. Yeah. That's probably true. So if that's the case, which it would be for, I think a lot of people, it was me for a long time. But doing certain like breath work and meditations gave me like a space between me and my thoughts.
Your thoughts and your reaction.
Yeah, that's it. Like it slowed the reaction time in a more conscious way.
And I feel like it takes like 0.1 second of space.
Yeah, to actually your brain. Yeah.
Yeah.
You just need to make that space a little wider.
Right. Yeah. That's so cool. So my thing would be around communication.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if I had to get really specific, I think the first thing that really opened our eyes to how much there was to understand about communication, like if I had to pick one thing to nerd out on for the rest of my life, it would be communication and probably like nuclear family communication.
Yeah.
Fascinated by it. But the thing that kind of opened that doorway for us was the internal and external processor.
Yeah.
And understanding that when you needed to take a moment to think, you weren't completely abandoning me.
Oh, yeah.
Because I felt abandoned.
Yeah. So pause just for a second.
Yeah.
To the person that knows that they won't be able to hold those emotions, right?
Yeah.
One practice that Chelsea and I had, which was super helpful, is to say, hey, I want to talk about this. I need some space because my mind is not thinking in ways that are probably helpful. And so we just hit the pause button. And usually it was through like clenched teeth that we would say that for real. That's the, and so that space, right? But I didn't know how to communicate that early on, right? And I was just like, I don't want to talk. Look, I don't want to talk right now. Stop it. Like, I just need space.
What? How the hell could you just back out of this? Like, we're literally, in the middle of pouring concrete, and you're just like, hey, dudes, I'm going to take a break. I'm like, what the heck? What?
Right. And you're saying, hey,
stay here and duke it out, bro.
Right. We got some work to do to fix our foundation.
Yes. And it felt to me like concrete, but it's usually not, because I was rushing because I felt like if this doesn't get worked out right now, right this second, it's never going to come back. It's going to be all on me to take care of it.
Right.
But most things aren't concrete. Right. They are rocks. And so you can walk away from it and come back to it.
Yeah.
That one, send this podcast if your partner is in construction, because this is obviously now.
Oh, I've got another metaphor.
Very masculine podcast.
So this one's another metaphor for early parenthood.
Okay.
It is like remodeling your entire house while living in it.
Uh-huh. And your body is the house, right? Or your soul, your spirit,
your life, everything. House. Yeah, your emotions, your mind, your thought, your relationships, and the food you eat. So remodeling the house while you're living in it, it's like you go to get the silverware and there's drywall on the countertop, and you go to use the oven or this, like everything is in the way. Like that's what it's like when you have a baby. It's like everything, your life gets flooded with all of these things, and it's like a mess, and you have to figure out where everything fits, like physically, mentally, emotionally. There's obviously new emotions. There's all these thoughts now of like, what's it mean to be a father? What's it mean to be a mother? Like, it's like so much transformation. It is not adding a baby to your life.
Yeah.
It's adding something else.
What I like about that is that if you go into that renovation with a shared vision and with a plan and knowing what the priorities are and how you're going to talk through that and what your timeline is, like it's still going to be messy, but it's going to be a lot better.
Yeah. It might even be pleasant.
And if you move in, like, I hope ignorance is bliss. I'm going to walk into this place bright-eyed. Maybe you just don't know, or maybe you have a house that just has more cracks. Knowing how you're going to tackle the project together just would save a lot of pain and frustration.
Yeah. It's like the things that would cause the pain in that situation. Now, we're just really taking this metaphor on and on. What would the priorities be if you would, if you were living in construction, then you probably have like, okay, well, we have a cutoff time, right?
Yeah.
At a certain time, there's no more power tools because we've got to sleep, or, we've got to use the kitchen every day at these times. So make sure there's nothing on the stove or in the microwave or disconnected. So like this kind of getting control of the nuts and bolts of life really help.
Yeah.
Because it's like chaos for a while. Yeah. It's not bad, but it is like, it can be bad if you don't know what you're doing.
Right. Yes. And I think we say that to say, like, we love talking about how hard it can be to add babies to the relationship. And we also love talking about how much hope there is for a stronger connection than ever, for more awareness and understanding of yourself, for practical tools of like respectful, intentional communication, and like how that also trickles into, I think, like better friendships, better relationships with your kids, knowing how to be with family that maybe you don't always see eye to eye with. Like the work we have done on our relationship has made me a better person in every single area.
Yeah.
And
agreed. Same.
I say all of that to say, like, we are rooting for couples, whether you are expecting 100%, and you're like, I want to lay the groundwork now, or whether you're postpartum and you're like, shit, I didn't know, but now I don't want to drift further. Like, we didn't know to get a toolbox before the storm, but now the storm came. And we're not going to just not get a toolbox now because we didn't get it before.
Right.
Like, it's still available and it's still helpful and it's still an important part of knowing how to keep moving and growing together.
Yeah. Yep. I love that. I love what you shared just then.
This is Life Lessons and Home Renovations with Mike and Chels.
Very nice. And you're right. Like, it can be so much better than it was bad. Like, the goal is not to come up to baseline and be neutral. Like when those things get in place, I think you naturally pass neutral, past zero, and you jump into the positive. And it gets really good. I mean, the amount of self-development that happens in that time is just incredible. Like, I am proud. I think, like, it's weird to talk about pride sometimes, but like, it's okay to be proud sometimes. I feel like this is the time, one of those times. And to know that
it's time to take our medicine.
That was very nice.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, but I think it jumps to the positive. And it's phenomenal. Like, nobody's going to get through the first weeks of parenthood without a certain amount of pain, discomfort, confusion. That's there. But after that, it should be a collaboration, a team-minded couple that, we're going to do this. We're going to team up and figure out how to do relationship and baby and make it good. But it's like night and day. I cannot believe the difference myself, and I'm living it. We just want to see couples have the joy available to the relationship when you have a baby and not have that squandered by stress.
Yeah. And to have a space to talk about it, because I think specifically I'm speaking to the women here. There's so much pressure to do all, we do all these things to prepare, and we make the nursery and we make a baby registry and we have a great cute dress for the baby shower. And then these people are so excited when this tiny little baby comes into the world, and sometimes it feels like it is supposed to just be the most blissful thing. And when, and I remember hearing too, like, you just won't believe how much you'll love your husband. And that was true. Like, I could not imagine anything better than seeing you hold and snuggle with our son and like start to laugh with him and all of those things. Like, yes. And I couldn't believe how alone and kind of broken I felt, especially when things were tough with you.
Yeah.
And I didn't feel like I could talk about the baby being hard. It's okay to say, well, here's how the baby's not sleeping or breastfeeding and all of that. But I didn't really feel like I wanted to talk to my mom or my grandma or my sister or my friends about the things that were hard with you, because I didn't want them in any way to see you as a bad dad or think that you were, anything worse than this perfect partner I chose. And so I didn't know where to turn to talk to that. And so one of my biggest goals is to be that place that is unbiasedly rooting for the success of couples
100%.
and willing to enter the hard things to say because you feel like you shouldn't feel them.
Yeah, absolutely true. Yeah, I think if I can't add much to that, but I witnessed that and watched you. I didn't realize what was happening, but as you began to talk about it, it's like, oh, wow. Like, it doesn't all come naturally all the time. And for dads or moms, and, you're like, okay, I love my son. And also, like, he's screaming at the top of his lungs for 3 hours now. And I'm very, exhausted, frustrated, fill in the blank. And it's, when you love people and it's hard to be with them, there's really nowhere to go except to get better at what's happening.
Are you talking about the baby or me?
Both
sometimes. Yeah. Oh, thanks for going there and sharing.
Yeah, that was great.
Rooting for you, friends.
Yeah, we want to see couples just thrive in the world.
Yeah,
we think that's the best thing, because when couples are great, they raise great kids, and great kids make a great future. Make America great.
Should be our tagline. Right?
Make humanity great. Yeah, no, that's MAGA. Yeah.
Focus on the family. Make America great again.
Zing! Yeah.
Just take it back.
Professional. Mark. Did you have any aha moments or helpful reframes that came from this episode? If so, would you take a minute to lift us up and leave a review or a comment on the podcast page? It's hard for me to ask this, but I know it's so helpful for us as we reach more and more families and make the world a better place, starting in our own homes. So again, if something stuck out to you, if you are sending this to your partner so that you can have a conversation, or if there was a helpful tip you're going to employ in your own life, take a moment, leave a review, and let's keep the conversation going.